back to The Annuity Show. I'm your host for today, Betsy Hume. So excited to be joined once again by the annuity specialist, Miss Elise Roberts. We are here to talk about how does an annuity work? Chapter 2, Episode 2. Thank you so much for being here again, Elise. You already showed me so much in the first episode and also showed me how much more there is for me to learn because it's so complicated and so intricate, the topic of annuities. So let me ask you this. I want to start today with a question that I think is probably a concern for a lot of people who are considering an annuity. What happens if someone purchases an annuity, but then later, because of whatever circumstance, they need to access the money sooner?
That is the biggest key to what we do. And the reason that we want to make sure that you're in the right one, that you work with someone who doesn't do anything else. So they're looking at all of the what ifs, not just what you think might happen, but what if something else happened.
Right.
So that's the key to the fact that all annuities have a free withdrawal.
Okay.
So there's an amount of money you can get out every year. So let's say that someone has one and they don't think they're going to need it for 3 years, maybe 5 years, but they don't know that. And in 2 years, something happens and they need some of that money. Mm-hmm. So the point is, if they needed all that money, we didn't do a good job. We just didn't do a good job. And that's not going to happen on my watch. And that's what I see out there, is if someone puts too much in, they can't get out what they need. Right. So again, having someone to work with that's an annuity specialist, making sure they're looking at everything to make sure you're in the right one, and you put the right amount of money in. And sometimes when there's these unknowns, we start with less. We can add. Okay. And sometimes you can add to annuities every year. Some annuities allow you to add for a shorter time frame, but you can always just start another one. Most of them don't have cost. So it's not like you couldn't just start another one if things were, okay, now I can be more confident that I could add more money. But don't put too much in if you're not sure. And that's the key, and that's just where we come in. Making sure that we're in the right annuity for the right reasons, and we're putting in the right amount based on your age, your financial situation, your family situation, everything, even health.
Oh yeah.
What is your health? If there's a couple or a single person and they have really serious health issues, you have to look at what's going to happen if they don't last through the whole term. Which the greatest part of annuity is if someone did pass, the term is over. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So the terms are dropped. So you got a 7-year annuity and you pass away, your beneficiaries are getting that money. They don't have to wait the 7 years. You passed. Or your wife has one and the husband, the wife passes away, the husband can access that money 100%. And there's options and there's different ways to do it, but they can now access the money. So we have to look at everything. Yeah. It's just not simple and cookie cutter.
Right.
And annuities used to be this little tool that did these things, and that was it. And now there's all these types of annuities doing all these different things.
Yeah.
And you really have to be careful. And I love what I do because it's much more important, and I bring much more value because I don't try to be everything to everybody.
Yeah.
And a lot of financial advisors, no offense, most of them are my friends. Mm-hmm. They try to do everything. And I learned a long time ago, you just can't do that. And my dad taught me that.
Oh, did he?
He told me, you cannot serve two masters.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Pick a side, stick with it. Pick a specialty, stick with it. Do what you do really well and take care of people.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing one thing, I'm focused on what you really needed. And it's just so important.
Yeah. I think especially like we mentioned in the first episode, if there's any one topic to be laser focused on, annuities is a heck of a choice because there's always so much growth and so much change for you to keep track of and stay on top of and help people. I think you're right that a lot of people don't realize that the terms end when the person deceases. I think also people don't necessarily realize that they can take money out every year. I think a lot of people think that once you have your money in an annuity, it's just lost to you. It's locked up.
I think the key there for being able to take money out every year is knowing you're in the right one.
Right.
Because if you're in an annuity that's a lifetime of income and you're taking withdrawals every year, not income, withdrawals, and there's a difference. And we're going to get into some of that when we talk about the income annuities in one of the next chapters to come. So I don't want to take that, take all that now and spoil it for everyone, so that everyone can learn slowly and we can all go through this together. But if you're in an income annuity for life and you're taking those 10%, let's say it's a 10% free withdrawal. All companies are different amounts, but you're taking that withdrawal and you're depleting the account, there may not be money for the lifetime of income. where you're doing it with the wrong account. So I have to make sure if you're needing to withdraw money every year, not taking the income yet, you're wanting that to grow for later, we need to really maybe even have two. One for the growth that you can take that 10% every year, and one for the future income.
So that brings me to another question. Are annuity payments always guaranteed for life, or do they eventually run out sometimes?
So if you're in a lifetime annuity, you're not going to ever run out. That's part of the plan. That's how it's designed. There are annuities. They're called just different terms, like 10-year certain, with 10-year with a period certain. That means you're going to get paid for that 10 years. Or if you lived longer, yes, but if you died after 10 years, there would be no money left. So there's a lot of details that are coming on those. Those are kind of older, but they're out there. It's very difficult because so much that's still there, that's old. That's why people have to be very careful.
Yeah.
There's a thing called a straight life. And like today's annuities, in a lifetime of income, the spouse dies, and there's still money in that account. The spouse, the surviving spouse, gets that money.
Right.
With a straight life, there's nothing there for that spouse.
Wow.
So that's a negative. So a straight life annuity is kind of old, and I don't recommend someone choosing that. Someone that's single, has no heirs, things like that, that might be okay. If they're leaving their work and they're giving a choice of all these choices, hey, if somebody's out there and they're given a choice of a pension that they have to turn it into an annuity, let us know. We'll help you decide. There's about 20 choices there.
Right.
We'll help you decide, no cost. Just help you decide from your own personal situation which one's best to choose. And it's always different depending on the person.
Yeah, that's the other thing I've realized is that we all know that each individual person's financial portfolio and financial goals are different. But the more I learn about annuities, the more I realize each individual person's needs can be met by a different annuity choice. And there are so many options out there that can really be tailored to exactly what you need.
It really is kind of upsetting when I hear them say, they come to me and say, my neighbor has this one. This is what it's called. And I want that one.
Oh.
And maybe it's good for them, maybe it's not. But we need to find out. And 9 out of 10 times we find out, this is why I would probably recommend this.
Right.
And this one would do this, but that's a difference in someone else's situation. But because that person's telling them how great it is, they want it. So
That's
be very
the one.
careful. Your annuity, your neighbor's annuity may not be the best one for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, unfortunately, we have to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
But before we do, I want to encourage you at home. If you're realizing the more we talk to Elise how complicated but how intriguing annuities are, I encourage you to reach out to her. You can call her at 888-526-4184. Find her on theannuityshow.com, or you can scan the QR code you see on your screen to get more information. If you reach out today, we're happy to give you a copy of the book called A Journey to Financial Security. Elise didn't write this book, but she was the expert consultant that was consulted to get all the really, really great, solid, but digestible information about annuities, a topic that, like I said, I continue to realize more and more how complicated it is and how much it's ever evolving. Elise always says she loves to keep learning because there's always more to learn. So please reach out to her today and take advantage of that expertise. But whatever you do, don't go anywhere because we'll be right back on The Annuity Show.